Welcome back to Roll for Puppet, the series where we let these dice design our next creature, and today we're back with episode 13, and just prepare yourself because this one gets a little bit crazy. I don't know why, but I chose the path of most resistance for almost every single feature this episode, so enjoy. But let's get started, as always, by rolling for our head shape with a d20. And we have an 8, which is going to be for the dino head shape. Now we need to roll for our personality with our chaos dice. We're back to the OG dice number 1 this episode. We alternate every single episode to make sure that there's lots of different possibilities. And we have from outer space. So like a space creature with a dino head. This is going to be a really interesting character. Let's get started by cutting out our articulated foam pattern on the wise and holy bandsaw. All hail the bandsaw. Don't forget that you can get your very own All Hail the Bandsaw collectible enamel puppet pin. They are currently 2 for £10 on our website as well, or they're free if you sign up to the Pin Club of the Month on our Patreon. Once all of the foam is cut out, we're going to glue it all together with our contact adhesive for our forbidden honey sandwich, which looks delicious, but it hurts us so. Therefore, it must remain forbidden forever. Press all of that together once the glue is dry to form the shape. And then, of course, we're going to have our S for sexy on the mouth plate. Any second now, I promise. S for sexy on the mouth plate, which gets glued together with the fleece and the forbidden ice cream sandwiches, and it all gets glued into the puppet's head. Ready for the foam reveal. So basically, at this point, we're kind of thinking of a space creature. Obviously, the prompt from outer space can mean a lot of different things. It could mean an astronaut, it could mean some sort of monster, but we're kind of going with alien. And of course, it will all depend on how the rest of the rolls go. Now, me sat here doing this voiceover, I know what this puppet turns out like. And it is a puppet that only the dice could create, truly. And a puppet that only the dice could love. It is an abomination, I suppose you could say. Let's get started with our fabric by rolling for our colours. First of all, the amount of colours, we have 3. Now we're going to roll for those colours, and we have double 5s and a 7. Now that's not going to work because we needed 3 individual colours, so we're going to re-roll one of those 5s, and we have an 11. So that's going to be for yellow, blue, and dealer's choice. I always feel like yellow and green go really well together, especially these 2 shades, and especially for a spacey creature like an alien. Yellow, green, and blue, that's what we're going to get started with, so we're going to cut out the yellow for the body of the puppet, and the fleecy arms, and a little bit on the head, and then we're going to bring in the blue and the green in the features, and the eyes, and all of those sorts of colours, so we'll bring it all together in the end, but we're going to get started with this yellow fleece. It's really nice and bright, but it's still kind of a soft yellow. It's not like neon. More kind of creamy, like toned down, a little bit softer. Do you know what I'm saying? Am I making any sense? I'm just going to keep cutting. Now, I'm not going to lie, my current rewatch of X-Files may be influencing how this puppet turns out. I'm currently on season 4, and so my mind is just full of like alien creatures and unexplained phenomena. So this is like subliminal puppet making, I think. Once all of the yellow fleece is sewn up, I'm going to trim it, I'm going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to put in the foam hands. Then we're going to glue the yellow fleece onto the puppet's head, and I'm going to trim it, pin it in place, and hand sew the seams there. And at this point, I'm sure you're thinking this looks like a very standard puppet. Nothing too outer space themed, nothing untoward. But let's doll joint those arms onto the puppet's body. We're going to have our happy dance, our colourful reveal, and then we are going to see where things go from there. Let's trust the puppet makers, shall we? Let's roll for our eyes. We have a 6 for odd eyes. Now, odd eyes can mean a lot of different things. It can mean completely different types of eyes, so a cabochon and a dot. It can mean different quantities, different sizes. Today we wanted to mix quantities and sizes, so we're going to have an odd number of eyes, and then we're also going to have 2 large, 1 small. We wanted these plastic dome eyes so that we could spray them blue and start incorporating blue into the colour scheme, and they also work great for alien creatures. Whilst the paint dries, we're going to roll for our features. We have 3, 7, 16 and 18, which is going to be for horns, eyebrows, mini-me, and prop. Now this is where I lose my mind. Actually, we're gonna roll it back a little bit. So we had to flock these stems that we wanted the plastic painted eyes to sit on above the puppet's head, because we wanted them to look really, really different and have them at slightly different positions and heights on the puppet's head as well, to really accentuate the differences and really make this look like an alien puppet. So we flocked them in this kind of electric blue colour. It's quite a lengthy process, but we thought it would be really fun. And of course, they need to dry. So we're going to leave those to dry. And we thought, you know what? Why have a mini-me that is like very standard and a finger puppet or a pet gerbil or something handheld? This is an alien. This is a creature from space. So why not have the mini-me be an alien parasitic creature that is growing out of the main puppet? So it's sort of like a second puppet. It's going to be able to be operated. It's going to have a moving mouth, but it is going to be bursting out of the puppet's stomach. Can you see I've been watching too much 90s sci-fi? And it was also at this point that we started to kick ourselves because we were making much, much more work for ourselves than was necessary. So we actually changed the entry of the puppet from the standard bottom entry to the back entry, and we added some dress boning to make sure that that hole would stay open, so that the bottom entry of the puppet could be solely for this parasitic gerbil that we created. No one asked for this, nobody wanted this, but we just went full force. So we added a bright blue tongue to the parasitic gerbil, and we have it in this bright neon fur with dot eyes. We're just going to sew the sides of the gerbil in place so that it doesn't fall out when you're operating the main puppet. And I just start losing it a little bit during the build, because I think at this point I started to realise how crazy what we were doing was. But parasitic gerbils aside for a moment, once the flock has dried on the eye stalks, we're going to glue the painted eyes into the slots. We 3D printed these so that the plastic eyes would fit into them perfectly and we could glue them in place. Screw those onto the puppet's head, again in kind of different directions, so that we've got these odd sized and odd quantitied eyes. I'm then going to add some of the cut pupil packs that we create, again in different sizes, so we have small on the side and then the main eye in the middle has this really big pupil. Then we're going to add a little custom puppet wig in the same green fur as the parasitic gerbil. Then for the pair of horns, again, we decided, why screw on a normal pair of horns when we could have it kind of like oozing this bright green alien goo? There's so many different textures and techniques incorporated into this puppet. I just thought this would be really fun and another kind of space-themed step. We wanted this to look really detailed and finished, so here are these oozing, dripping alien goo horns, because why not? Randomized dice chaotic puppet making should be fun, no? So we added these dripping horns onto the gerbil, we added all of that back onto the puppet, and then finally, for the prop, because of course this puppet needed a prop as well, we have a full colour laminated UFO operation license. It's like a driving license, but for this absolutely unhinged, dice created alien puppet with its parasitic stomach gerbil. If you ever wanted to show someone what Roll for Puppet was, this would be the episode to show them, because this makes no sense. It is a puppet I would never make and should never make ever again, but here we have it. This is what the dice told me to do. I was obviously tired, and here is our finished puppet. Let me know what you think. Name suggestions and detailed backstories for both of the puppets down in the comments, please. And we will see you next week for a brand new episode. If you enjoy this content, thank you, I guess, for making it this far. And you can head over to our Patreon community if you would like to support the show. You get these episodes early and ad-free, plus lots of other perks. So please head over there and we'll see you very soon. I'm sorry for what you just watched.